What's going on, Trust the Bank family? It's your boy Joshua. Got McConnell, and we also have a special guest with us to talk about the trade. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, we've had him on before. But AJ, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man, and we're gonna dive right into it.
How are you doing, everybody? I've been a Chief fan for a long time. I remember a lot of pain throughout the years, unlike some of the people that randomly bought a jersey within the last 3 years. So I've paid my dues. I have jerseys back when they were from Reebok and before Fanatics was a thing. So just an FYI, got put out there. But I podcast and I write for Undrafted Sports.
Yeah.
So guys, what do we got?
Yeah. So if anybody, hasn't guessed it, AJ, big Chiefs fan, but I will say AJ's like the only super cool Chiefs fan. So he's rational. He's not, he's been there. He's not here because of Mahomes. He's here because of, he's here because he's not a Jets fan. That's the original story.
Well, what happens is my father said, listen, I can't make you a Jet fan. So it was basically kind of like, you know what? Eventually, you'll be able to make your own path. How that is, you could figure that out. And by the way, my first quarterback was Trent Green.
There you go. That's
when you go to comparison, night and day difference. But yeah, what this big camaraderie about from Kansas City fans? I kind of noticed it around, if you go to other sports, around 2014 is when Kansas City fans started with baseball, but they started to get rowdy, wild, and just crazy. And then once Mahomes stepped in, it started to turn into football. And now, you know what I mean? It's like I've encountered a lot of fan bases, like all the Toronto fan bases are different throughout the three major sports that they have there. New York is all bundled all over the place, but it's like Kansas City. It's like
it's the new Philly.
I can't say that because Philly used to boo more than they cheered, but after they won the Super Bowl, they toned it down. They've gotten better, which is something I thought I'd never say before. And there's a lot of Philly fans over by me in the Connecticut and New York area, believe it or not.
Yeah, but anybody that clicked on the video, you see Ravens versus Chiefs who won the trade debate. So obviously we've talked about it on the channel before. You've heard my opinion, my instant reaction. You've heard Joshua and I talk about it in the first segment. AJ, I'm going to let you go first and give your side of the argument as to who won the trade between the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Ravens.
Is it close?
No. You see, my thought is this, okay? If you look at what they did, you had to pay Mahomes. Eventually, the Ravens have to pay Lamar, but I'll get to that in a moment. But you built this team, restructured deals, and you've put this system in place for a dynasty. There's going to be some teams that are going to be like, you know what, man? I want to pick this guy up because right now I think this is their year. Now, even if this Chiefs team is just a competitive team and not a dynasty, but you're still going to be in playoff picture the next couple of years. So my thought is, right, if you're one of those all-in teams, okay, or you think you're one or two pieces away from finally completing the ultimate goal, okay, let's go get Orlando Brown Jr. I get it. But the fact that you're not going to have somebody on your offensive line, which that's a bigger need than anything else. The only our bigger need than offensive line is oxygen. Let's just be real. So instead of having a guy, and there's a lot of depth at the position. There's so many drafts where they're like, hey, man, it's 4 guys. You remember the draft last year. It's like, hey, there's 4 guys, and then everything else is a crapshoot. No, there's a lot of depth here. And my thought is this. Now, there's a lot of people going, the Chiefs are going to get an edge rusher. No, I'm not going to be able to sleep unless we get some guy in there. I didn't want to say names. I thought Alex Leather would. But if somebody told me we like this guy's tape better at offensive tackle, I'd say, okay, you're the boss. Let's go through with it. Let's go. Instead, no. You got a guy for 1 year, this supposed dynasty you put together. You have a guy for 1 year, going to have to pay him otherwise, instead of having a guy at that position for 4 years. And for what? Ravens clear up cap space when they're an enemy in the playoffs, so they have room to pay Lamar Jackson, and the salary cap is most likely going to be going up. Forget the second round and everything else. If you pick the second round and it's going to be like 60 overall or whatever, I don't care. If you're saying, hey, 34th overall, okay, I get it. But no, you're giving up all of this for a guy who's going to play at the position for 1 year instead of somebody solid in this draft. Longevity-wise that everyone keeps talking about, I just don't understand it. It defies the logic that they said to the fans.
It's so funny because you're giving the same argument that I've given for why the Ravens are great. Like, the Ravens aren't going to be able to pay him. He's only going to Kansas City for 1 year, which doesn't help the dynasty really at all. It's like a 1 year deal.
It's not like baseball where you could say, hey, we could do the trade here, but if this trade's going through, I need you to guarantee an extension. It's not like that. You trade, you wait for time to go past, and the next thing you know, you're going to most likely get on Zoom or mute the guy and be like, so, what's the dollar amount here, Chief? I think Chiefs don't have power to do that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
What does that hold water? Are they going to use the cap space that's going up just to give the guy the contract?
Like that, it's just so funny because you're a Chiefs fan and you're very unhappy with the deal. I see a lot of Ravens fans that have commented on my videos. I've seen it on Twitter, and they're furious.
Oh, wow. Guy didn't want to be there. Guy didn't want to be there for a playoff guaranteed team. A guy that wants to get his family involved, his camp, to talk shit. And, we don't want him gone. You gave him his wish. You're going to get a top guy in the draft at the position, or you got somebody else to go sign. Now, could you imagine? Now, with the depth in this draft, right? You're going to be able to get an edge rusher, a wide receiver, and a guy on the offensive line.
Yeah.
You're going to get all those three pieces that everybody was worried about. And, what are you going to do? Oh, yeah? What's going to happen? Let's see. It's the end of April right now. What's going to happen when January or February walks in and they're like, free agents room. Oh, crap. Lamar's got his contract. It's his walk year. What are you going to do then?
See, the Ravens are being smart because they're going to have guys on rookie deals. I mean, they're drafting 9 players this year. I mean, they're going to sign Lamar and they're going to have the rookie deal guys with him. That is huge. Being able to draft a bunch of young players that are on cheap deals to play with Lamar when he's playing. They won't have to bring in free agents, hopefully. They could, but the Ravens don't like to bring in big name free agents. They like to do it through the draft. And acquiring draft picks is what they've done. And the depth that they now have in the draft, AJ, do you know that they draft in every round that they draft, except for the 6th round, they have 2 picks?
I knew that they had a lot. I just didn't know it was kind of like that.
2 firsts, 2 second, no, 2 firsts, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6th.
Yeah, there we go. That's fine.
Also,
I remember you making that because I keep tabs on the show. I remember you wondering what was going on as far as the general manager. Now, listen, the only enemy of the Ravens is their own coaching, as far as I'm concerned. It's fair to say, and the proof is there. Watch the tape. It's like, hey, we're down by a touchdown. Panic! We can't run the ball anymore. Why? You're only down by a touchdown? Oh, because. Why don't you open up the playbook? Oh, well, we save it for the playoffs. You got to get there, Chief. You got to get there somehow. Yeah, let's open up the playbook when we're in desperation in the postseason instead of practicing. I remember the Chiefs doing the hook and ladder, and they're like, oh, we go through that in practice. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're Tennessee, Buffalo, Baltimore, might want to take some notes. I didn't say in a cocky way. I'm just saying I just want to watch good football. I'm surprised my team made it to the Super Bowl again. I didn't expect them to win either. and everyone thought, "Oh, you're crazy." Look what happened.
I think a lot of Ravens fans, when I said that you were like
Optimism,
the coolest Chiefs
people.
fan, when I was like, this guy is the coolest Chiefs fan, they were like, scoff. No way he's cool. Then they're listening to you right now. I'm like, he's spitting facts about Greg Roman. He's spitting facts about the trade. Maybe they're right. Maybe AJ is the coolest Chiefs fan alive.
It's optimism, and I've been there, man. I've paid my dues. I've gone through the pain. I know what I'm doing. I didn't put the sport down or go somewhere else. And I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of people that stopped rooting for the Chiefs and went to the Rams.
Yeah.
They're right there. I mean, come on.
So AJ, let me ask you this. All right, y'all get Orlando Brown for 1 year. We all know that at the end of the day, there's so much depth in this year's draft. Is he trade bait, or does he actually play for your team this year?
I think there's no way that's just the thing. This isn't like the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
When it goes to football, like it's different when you got like, maybe it's like you get a guy in the off season, but then you go towards the deadline and trade him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you give up that much and then later down the road just being like, oh, we just wanted a pick out of him. No, you wouldn't have borrowed to begin with. This isn't sign then trade like it's basketball. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Not gonna flip him for cash, nothing. So guess what? He's gonna get his wish. He's in playoff contention. He's gonna be the starting day left tackle unless he gets hurt. Please, so help me. Just being positive. Just being positive.
Yeah.
Just stay healthy, and you got left tackle. He's got his wish, and it's his walk year. Gee, how convenient.
So, AJ, are you aware of the concerns with Orlando Brown Jr. and his play? Like, how much do you know about him as a player? Because I can tell you, and it's not okay. So, because I think people have gotten on me because I said that Eric Fisher is at the same level of Orlando Brown Jr. And I stand by that. You look at the PFF grades, Orlando Brown Jr. played worse than Eric Fisher last year. Orlando Brown Jr., he's very good. If he gets in front of somebody, they're done. Like, they're not getting by him. Problem is, he's slow, and if you go around him, you'll get by him. The thing that people like to say is, like, he's allowed 0 sacks and he's allowed 0 quarterback hits. Yes, but he's also playing with Lamar Jackson.
In the NFL, okay.
If somebody gets around Orlando Brown Jr., Lamar Jackson steps to the complete opposite side, and he doesn't get touched. The way to beat Lamar is you get interior pressure. Like, that's the only way that the people sack Lamar. I mean, Ronnie Stanley doesn't really allow any sacks. Like, so Orlando Brown Jr.'s stat is based on Lamar Jackson being special and being able to get outside the pocket. So for him, he cannot move in the run game. Like sometimes they have to like sub guys in and be like, these types of things. But like he's not mobile. If he gets in front of somebody, they're done. He's gonna completely block them. So, like, that's the thing. Like, Orlando, like, so many people think that, like, Orlando Brown Jr. is, like, Ronnie Stanley level. He's not.
So they're treating him like Stanley. They're treating him like Trent Williams and somewhere in that caliber.
He's not in that caliber. He is.
Okay, so here's my next question. If
he's in front of you, he'll block you.
Here's my next question. And listen, there's so many Charger fans from undrafted. I got to ask this. Do you think that Joey Bosa is going to eat him up twice a year?
Ooh, Joey Bosa would be nasty. You see, I don't think so. I think it's more of the. I think it's going to be more of the if they send a blitz. Like if they send a corner blitz on that side, he's done. Like if you send a corner blitz with Orlando Brown Jr., like that corner's getting around him. I mean, you can look at if you remember AJ the Cleveland game. Last 2 years ago, where at the end of the first half, Lamar Jackson gets hit off of they sent a mid blitz or whatever, and they blitz off that side. They get through. They hit Lamar like he's good, but like it's. I mean, they can beat him. Like that's the thing is like his stats are misconstrued because he plays with Lamar Jackson, and that's something that's and he is very good. Like unless Joey Bosa gets like a really good jump. he'll be able to lock him down. It's just being able to get that job. The benefit is you have Andy Reid, who's like the best offensive mastermind in the NFL. So he'll be able to get him most likely in good situations to be able to block guys. But like,
Yes, do you think so?
I think so. I would say, play design and that. I think he's one, and then Kyle Shanahan's probably two.
Well, I'm just saying, there's other guys in there that are pretty good and they have a great reputation. Like, I mean, we'd be here all day if we were to conduct the list on the fly. But where do you put Chick? Where do you put Arians? Guys like that.
Nah, I see Andy Reid as the clear one, in my opinion.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe that's because I've been destroyed by him in the last 3 times that the Ravens have played
listen,
against
if
him.
you think about it, though, right? It's been close every single time.
Yeah.
You had RG3 playing, and then you had my team at 4th and 15. All the marbles there. Anything could have happened. You remember that game?
Yeah.
What happens if Mahomes doesn't convert on 4th and 14, 4th and 15?
Freaking Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill went on one damn leg. And goddamn Eric Weddle. And who else couldn't make the goddamn tackle? Shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
Which by the way, did you remember that everybody made fun of the Marcus Peter trade when the Ravens did that?
Yeah.
They're like, great, you trade a 5th round pick for burnt toast. What else is new? Well, look at the way he played.
I mean, his first game, he went on a house call with Russell Wilson in the biggest game of the Ravens season that year. Like that's the thing is Eric DeCosta gets a lot of flack for a lot of the trades he's made. But what's a trade that Eric DeCosta has done that hasn't worked out? He traded for Yannick Ngakoue.
Which is why when you were saying, is he bad? I'm like, no. Now, granted, every general manager is going to have weaknesses. And I think that Veach is crazy for what happened with Orlando Brown Jr. It's like, hey, did you give him your pants too? Like, come on.
All right. I feel like that's pretty solid. AJ, thank you for coming on, everybody. Comment your thoughts on the trade, who won, because I feel like a lot of Chiefs fans will check in. If you're a Chiefs fan, let us know.
If they want to talk shit, come to me. I'll put them in check.
I'll be sending all the comments towards AJ's way, and you'll see him in the comments. But everybody, thanks for watching. Go check out AJ posts a lot of articles on undraftedsports.com. He posts mock drafts, things like that. But thank you all for watching or listening. If you're on the podcast, subscribe for daily Ravens content. We'll see all of you again next time.